Okay, so here's a quick warning for this video. I did not have a pop filter. I lost my pop filter before I recorded this voiceover, and by the time that I had already finished it, it was too late, and I had already edited it, and I'm not gonna do the voiceover all over again because that's gonna suck. I'm not doing that. So just be prepared for the audio to be really bad this video. But other than that, I really hope you enjoy. See ya. Gay people, am I right? Hi, I'm Clown, but you can call me Clown Kool-Aid. In celebration of both Pride Month and Sonic's 35th anniversary, I thought I would hit two birds with one stone and make a video on all the LGBT characters of the Sonic franchise. Whether that's canon, headcanons, genderless beings, or even Sonic himself, I want to cover the diverse cast of the Sonic franchise and all the great representation that the LGBT community has received from it. In order to keep it clean and concise with my overview, I will dissect each letter of the LGBT into its own section of characters and furthermore divide it into its definition of canon or headcanon. These initial divisions will be categorized into L for lesbian, G for gay, B for bisexual, and T for trans, non-binary, or genderless beings. I will try and cover every character I can possibly find, but if I somehow miss someone because I didn't bother to read the tiniest slide of dialogue in an old Archie comic written by nasty Ken Penders, then let me know in the comments down below in this video. Without further ado, let's look at the LGBT characters of Sonic the Hedgehog. We'll be right back with more Sonic the Hedgehog after these short messages. Surprisingly, lesbians are the biggest group represented throughout the Sonic franchise. You might even be surprised by some of the characters you'll see in this section, as I didn't even know some of these. First up, to no one's surprise, is the couple Tangle and Whisper from the Sonic IDW comics. Being probably the biggest piece of representation of the LGBT in the Sonic community, Tangle and Whisper are the definition of queer Sonic characters. If you haven't been living under a rock for the past 7 years, Tangle and Whisper are two characters from the IDW Sonic comics and are probably the most iconic popular comic exclusive characters. They both share a deep bond, mostly shown off in their one-off comic miniseries, Tangle and Whisper, where Tangle and Whisper go on a journey to stop the main villain of the miniseries, Mimic. In this story, Whisper shares her deep trauma during the days of the Eggman War, and Tangle is there to comfort her and make her grow as a character. After the miniseries release, a lot of fans started to ship Tangle and Whisper, and it soon became the most popular ship from the IDW comics. While relationships between main characters is strictly prohibited in the Sonic franchise, Tangle and Whisper were confirmed that they would be undeniably canon relationship in the franchise if they were given the chance by the IDW writers in Reddit Q&A threads. Tangle and Whisper are amazing, and one of, if not my only ship that I enjoy inside the Sonic franchise. Moving on to other characters, we also have Clove the Pronghorn. Only being in the Archie comics being from the post-Super Genesis wave, she's a general for Eggman's armies and is seen as a strong, independent woman. Again, Sega has a strict rule against overly romantic storylines in the Sonic universe, but Clove has been reported by many creators and writers for the Archie comic to have been written to be a queer or lesbian character. I don't know much about the Archie comics, and there's nothing you could ever do to persuade me to read them, but her design is very cool, and I find it cool that the Archie comics have a strong, independent, queer-coded character like Clove. Now, writing this script, I can see how repetitive it's gonna be with its characters, but you know what? We move on. Another character who is also from the Archie comics and is a semi-confirmed lesbian is Nicole the HoloLinks. In the post-Super Genesis wave, again, Nicole was given an arc with Sally Acorn that if finished would lead to both Nicole and Sally being in a lesbian relationship. This was confirmed by Ian Flynn after the Archie comic line had been canned, and would have been front stage and center unlike a lot of the other characters on this list, only being semi-canon. Even before the confirmation by Ian Flynn, many fans had shipped Nicole and Sally together as a couple because of the multiple lines and panels portraying them as having a deep bond with each other. Many people point to the comic panel where both characters go and see stars late at night as the biggest indicator of this relationship. Even with canon characters though, let's get into some of the headcanon ones. First we have the relationship between Rouge and Agent Topaz from the Sonic X anime. Many fans see this as a lesbian relationship in the show, or at least one that is heavily hinted to be real. Rouge constantly teases Agent Topaz, and many take it as romantic tension. It also doesn't help how many coincidences stack up, as Rouge is a jewel thief and Agent Topaz, well, is named after a jewel. There's also the scene where Rouge teases Topaz about her being into BDSM.
ハードなプレイがお好みなの？何を笑っている？
It only boosts the ship headcanon even more. Next up, this one's pretty small and probably stretching it, but there is a Sonic Central comic panel where Blaze is doing a bunch of different things and Amy in the corner is watching her as she blushes and has a little heart over her head. Like I said, this is pretty small and overall not that important, but given Blaze is supposed to be an alternate universe version of Sonic, it would make sense why Amy would have a girl crush on the purple cat. Next up, taking a wild and random turn into the Fleetway comics of all things, are Amy and Techno. Excuse me if I get anything wrong, again I don't really read the comics outside of IDW, but Amy and Techno are a duo commonly seen in the Fleetway comics, where a lot of people saw them as a couple. They are seen together a lot in the comics and have good chemistry according to the fans, and so a headcanon of them being in a lesbian relationship eventually became a thing. And now with that, the lesbian part of the Sonic series is out of the way, and we can move on to the gays. Coming up next on Clown Kool-Aid. Now we gotta talk about the gay guys, the Zesters, the fruitiest of the fruity. This list of characters isn't as long as the lesbian list, but there's still some really awesome rep here, and I promise there isn't as many headcanons as the last part. First up, we have an actual canon gay relationship with Night and Owl and Dawn the Rooster from the IDW comics. These two are an officially gay married couple and seem to be one of the only actual canon relationships in the Sonic universe. You may know these two as they are really popular for fan art in the Twitter sphere of Sonic. First appearing in 2020, they soon became really huge in the Sonic space as people finally got some good gay rep in Sonic. While they may be niche, a lot of people love them, and they will continue to be one of the best pieces of LGBT rep in the Sonic franchise. Now we go way back into the depths of gay, but not actually gay characters, with Rotor the Walrus from the Archie comics. In an interview with the series writer Ken Penders, he had said that Rotor the Walrus was originally wrote to be a gay character, but due to the things with Sega, it never came to be and was still coded into his character writing. Again, I don't really read the Archie comics, but it's cool to point out nonetheless. This one is pretty blink and you miss it, and even then it might not be gay coded, but Louis Montaigne may be gay. Being an NPC that you can interact with Empire City and Sonic Unleashed, if you interact with him while being in the Werehog form, he makes a comment saying he likes Sonic's style. While this may not be gay, I just implore you to look at this dude. A fashion guy, living in New York, and he looks like this. Yeah, try to convince me this guy isn't gay at all. Anyways, next up we have Dr. Starline from the IDW comics. Being one of the main villains of IDW, he was introduced as someone who idealizes Dr. Eggman and strives to be his number one. Later in the story, he parts ways with Eggman and creates Surge the Tenric and Fit the Fennec, with the motivation that he will surpass his idol doing so. There could also be a whole video essay on how gay this dude is for Eggman, but nonetheless, the intense idolization of the Eggy boy is what leads to a lot of fans believing that Starline is gay for Eggman and could even see that as a possibility. Heck, even Ian Flynn, after he wrote him, saw him as a fruit fest.
Seriously, that guy's gay coded AF.
I don't want to say no because you're right. It's more that he was meant to be theatrical and bombastic in a similar fashion to Eggman.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't think Eggman comes across the same way.
No.
So mostly what I'm trying to get at is that I didn't intend for him to be a stereotype along those lines.
Mm-hmm.
But folks really responded to his eccentricities, shall we say. So I kind of leaned a little more into that because give the people what they want.
Absolutely.
Furthering people connected by Eggman, we also have Dr. Stone from the Sonic movies. Dr. Stone is much like Starline. He idolizes Eggman so much that he can be seen as a gay character to most people watching the movies. While not confirmed, it's very obvious, at least to me, there's something between them two. And at the end of Sonic 3, it did not help this case whatsoever. I see Stone as a gay-coded character, and many others do, and I feel like that's safe to say for the sake of this video. Oddly enough, the idolization continues with these characters, as 9 from the Sonic Prime show is on this list. While I haven't fully watched Sonic Prime, from what I've seen, it's safe to say that 9's obsession with selfish desire for Sonic can be seen as a little gay for the character. Again, I don't know fully, but many other people on the internet seem to believe this is what's somewhat hinted or true for his character writing, and I'm not gonna knock people down for thinking so. With that done, we now have gay characters from the Sonic franchise down, and while the list isn't as long as Lesbians, I appreciate that we have some sort of gay rep in the Sonic series. Coming up next on Clown Kool-Aid. Hey look! My sexuality is finally being covered! Wait, hold up. I'm getting a call. Just give me a second. Yeah? Oh. Oh, really? Oh. Okay, I see. Thank you. So yeah, this list only has 3 fucking characters. Besides the fact that I'm upset about there only being 3 bisexuals, 2 of them are from the fucking Archie comics. I want to actually die. Anyways, first character up is Sally the Acorn. Some of y'all might be questioning why she's here on the bisexual list. That's because the post-Supergenesis era of Archie, she had a very close and what would also lead up to an eventual relationship with Nicole. This on top of her relationship with Sonic in the original Archie line makes me and many others consider her to be a bisexual character. At least one of the biggest Sonic characters has my sexuality. Anyways, moving on to the other 2, we also have Slinger the Ocelot from Sonic IDW. Slinger is a part of Whisper's old group that brutally got killed by Mimic, but I think he's pretty cool. Not only is he a reference to Metal Gear Solid, but he also has a part of one of my favorite Sonic characters' storylines. And of course, again, the only way we know he's bisexual is because of another podcast clip by Ian Flynn. Can you tell I'm pissed yet? For our last bisexual on this list, we have Gold the Tenor. Just to be quick, she's an Archie character, blah blah blah, post-Supergenesis, blah blah blah. A writer for Archie said she was bisexual, but of course the Archie story is being cut short. That never happened. Okay, cool. We got through the bisexual characters on the list. We can immediately move on to the trans characters. I wonder how many MTF characters there are. Oh, come on! Coming up next on Clown Kool-Aid. As you already saw, like no transgender males or females are here at all. And while it upsets me a little, at least we get some sort of trans rep through non-binary and gender non-conforming characters, which is somewhat nice to see. The only really semi-confirmed canon character in the Sonic universe to have the non-binary label would be Barry from the Murder of Sonic the Hedgehog. Barry is an extension of the player, but considering they only really have one look to them, unlike a character further up on this list, I would consider them non-binary as they wouldn't have a singular gender identity to be canon with, much like something like Chris from Deltarune, where they are still canon but are considered non-binary or confirmed non-binary in the story. If you see it another way, let me know down in the comments, but otherwise I largely believe in the Barry is non-binary canon side of things. Another pretty confirmed canon at this point gender non-conforming character or characters in the Sonic franchise are the elusive Chow. Chow are confirmed to be genderless, but can still reproduce with other Chow, even with no sex organs. Chow, I feel like, are really popular in the LGBT sphere, and it's nice to know that they align with the target demographic pretty well. Next up, we have Gemerald. Gemerald is largely seen by a lot of characters as a male character, but if you take a second glance into their character, I would say non-binary or genderless. Not only is it a fun pun for a robot to be non-binary, but we see multiple times in other material that Gemerald is very non-conforming and expresses themselves in a multitude of ways. With them being a robot, I largely see them as non-binary, but people can take that as they will. Going back to what I was saying about Barry earlier, there's also the Sonic Forces avatar. Again, since the avatar is an extension of the player, they could be all or none. We know the avatar is canon, but that could easily make them genderqueer. The Forces avatar overall is a peculiar case, but in my eyes, I see them as having no canon gender and can be interpreted how anybody wants, which I think is the joy of a character like the avatar. Coming up next on Clown Kool-Aid. We've now finished every part of the LGBT. I'm so happy I could talk about all these amazing characters, besides the Archie ones. Wait, hold up, I'm getting a second call. Hey, what's up? You think I should talk about him? Yeah, I guess, but there isn't much. That's the point, you say? Okay. Yeah, I'll talk about him. Okay, bye. Talk to you later. So I guess I gotta talk about the elephant in the room. The blue blur himself. Sonic has a curious case in terms of his sexual orientation. Many times before, we've seen him being teased with Amy in the past, but it's obviously meant to be a one-sided crush between the two. Sonic has been shipped with other characters plenty of times, but of course those don't really count towards the canonicity of his character. Sonic has had a relationship with Sally in the Archie comics, but of course those also are not canon. So what is the case with Sonic? Well, if you want to take the common argument of Sonic is like the wind, he flows free, then I think he either aligns with pansexual orientation or asexual orientation. Sonic is someone who accepts everyone no matter what, so seeing him as a pansexual could be a very compelling case for him. It would explain why he doesn't share the same feeling with Amy, and why he's just mega fruity with anyone and everyone. But there's also the case for asexuality. Being that game canon-wise we don't ever see him with someone, it could make the case that he has no need for a relationship, or that he simply doesn't want one at all. I think this is more of the case. Given that it's an internal Sega rule that he can't be in any relationship, that gives the most likely case towards asexuality. It also allows for better relatability to his character to many, as he has no orientation, therefore anyone can see themselves in him without sexual orientation getting in the way. I like the idea of Sonic being asexual, as it allows for a much more explanation and representation for him. Showing that you can be everything you want with only your free will and your friends by your side represents Sonic perfectly as a character, and I do really enjoy thinking about him like that. We'll be right back with more Sonic the Hedgehog after these short messages.
Sonic N, now on N-Gage.
I really enjoyed getting to talk about all these characters, and even finding out things about my favorite franchise I didn't even know about. It was nice getting to see all the rep that Sonic has for the LGBT, and I see how amazing the franchise is because of it. Not only the canon rep, but all the community support and community-made rep is nice to see, as so many people come together to see themselves in these characters that they love. I'm sorry for this video coming out after Pride Month and Sonic's 35th anniversary month, but I still enjoyed getting to make this video and showing it off to you all. Next video will be even better than this, and I can't wait. Another thing, if y'all are new here, or returning from my last video, I would really appreciate if you subscribed, or liked, or commented on this video, and maybe even go watch my last video. It would mean the world to me if this video did well, and I just want to grow as a new and upcoming creator in this space. Also, I have a Discord. I send lots of updates in there for community members and friends, so if you want to meet a massive group of amazing community members, come on by and say hi. It would mean a lot. Anyways, thank you for sticking through this entire video, and I will see you in the next one. Bye.